Hello, my name is Bree from the Yoga Hand, and I welcome you. Really nice that you join me on the mat. This is a completely new series I just create for you. It is very beginner friendly because I hear so many people saying that they cannot do yoga because they are not flexible enough and they don't want to join a course because they feel embarrassed. And some of them say they are not strong enough or they don't have time. So what I want to do with this course is, first I will introduce a pose with the benefits of the pose, the alignment, how I learned it, and the contraindications as well, or where I recommend to consult a doctor, what I would do anyway when you have kind of physical limitations. For example, I have rheumatism, and before I started my yoga practice, I asked my doctor if this is appropriate, and she really loved the idea, and since that moment I do yoga, and I'm so grateful that I started that journey because it helped me a lot with various issues I had in my joints, in my overall body, and at work you always come in very stressful situations as you come in your family life, and then the practice on my yoga mat always gives me this mental calmness, and and it is for me the antidote for all the stress we might have. So this said, the first yoga pose I want to introduce is puppy pose. Why puppy pose? When we have this forward bended life on the desk, and when we sit on the couch, or when we prepare the meal, whatever, and puppy pose is one of my favorite poses. What I do very often when I come back home from work or before I start my work. So I thought I'll introduce you first to this pose, and then this will be the part one of the course, and part two will be that we explore what you probably, when you change a body action slightly, what and how this pose and the feeling in the pose might change. And my yoga teacher always said there is no yoga police, so this is what always kind of brought me to this really, I always wanted to play a little bit in the pose and see what and how the feeling in the pose changes. So this is what I will explore with you. And on the way, we will always see how props can support the pose in case you have a physical limitation. And so this will be definitely part two and probably part three. And then we, apart from exploring what could be done when we change something slightly, there might be other variations of the pose. And this is definitely something we will explore as well. And you will see it's only today's video with a lot of introduction, what makes the video a little bit longer. But I promise that all the other videos will not be longer than 10 to 15 minutes max. Some of them might be even shorter. So this is easily to integrate in your daily life when you feel for it and when you really want it. So, props. I have and recommend 2 blocks. We will not need them all the time, but it is something when you want to start your yoga journey, a block is really always a good investment. So a block, I have here a really hard form block, and I don't recommend a soft one. And I have another cork blocks here as well. I will introduce you to the cork ones as well. They are a lot harder, and I like to practice with them as well. And in some occasions, especially when we are on the knees and you have issues with your knees, you might want to have a folded blanket or a folded towel I have here. I will introduce you how you can use this prop. And for today, that's what we would need. When you don't have blocks, don't worry. You always can go for a really thick book. Or what I really had at the very beginning when I practiced, I had this little vacuumated coffees. So they look a little bit like these blocks as well, and they were stable as well. So yeah, this said, let's try and go for our first pose, puppy pose, Anahatasana, I call it as well. And at the moment, you see, I use props to sit with a long spine. So, but this is what I will introduce you to at a later stage. So, come on here. And as said, when you have problems with your knees, consult please your doctor, and the same in puppy pose or heart melting pose. Consult your doctors when you have problems in your shoulder girdle. Yeah, but probably when you practice mindfully and listen to your body, then you back off as soon as you feel pain, this kind of sharp shooting pain. You know, we never want this in a yoga practice. We very often go for a kind of a discomfort, what is good, you know, and then we breathe really into it, because it's like in life, you know, sometimes the situation is not very comfortable, and then we learn on the yoga mat already how to deal with these situations. So I have here this towel, and I folded this towel. It's very thin, and when you have knee issues and you're cleared from your doctor, then you could probably lie this towel on your yoga mat and let your knees a little bit hang over the edge of the towel. So the knees are floating. You probably see that. And this then helps to take the pressure away from the knees. So in puppy pose, we start here with having our hips over our knees. I take the towel away because I've showed you what to do. So you have the hip over the knees, and you have the knees hip width apart. And then you slowly walk your hands towards the small or the front of your mat, and slowly let your chest sink towards the mat. When you say, or when you feel that your head is not reaching the mat and your forehead cannot lie down on the mat, then walk your hands forward, take your block with you, and where your forehead would end or would lie down, then you can support your forehead. So in this pose, we try to keep this 90-degree angle in the back and in the front. So we try to keep our hips over our knees. Even when we walk our hands forward, and when we let our chest melt into the floor. So I don't need this block, but I let my forehead come on the mat and really stretch my hands forward. I spread my fingers wide and grip my fingers into the mat. And now I release the grip and let my elbows rest on the mat next to my head. So what this pose does, it lengthens and stretches our back, and it opens our shoulders and opens our chest. And this is exactly what I really appreciate when I come back from work. Because when I always was forward bended, sitting in front of my computer on my desk, then I enjoy this counter pose of this forward bended life at work. We breathe deeply into the nose and exhale completely through the nose. When you inhale deeply, send your breath into your belly and release all the air out of your body through the nose. One more breath, deep inhale. And long exhale. Perhaps with the time in this pose, you feel that gravitation does the work. And gravitation does the work anyway, but your weight, the weight of your body presses probably your chest a little bit more towards the mat, and your heart melts a little bit more into the mat and towards the floor. Take one more deep inhale and full exhale. And slowly lift the gaze, look forward, and walk your hands back towards your knees, and sit your hips back on your heels. We one more time go into the pose and really enjoy the feeling and try to feel into the pose what it does with you, where you feel the pose. in what body parts you feel the pose, where it feels comfortable and where you might feel a little bit of a discomfort. As said, no sharp shooting pain is our goal. So when you have a sharp shooting pain, back out please slowly and sit back on the heels. And yeah. Okay, so slowly lift your butt from your heels. And now we have the hips over the knees. And we don't move our hips when we walk our hands forward. And we really stretch our hands forward and bring our bum up to the ceiling and slowly melt our chest towards the floor. Our forehead can lie on a block, a yoga block, or you can bring the forehead towards the mat. And wherever your forehead is, you can slowly move it from the right to the left. So as if you want to massage your forehead, and you do not only want to, you do massage your forehead on the mat. It's as if we want to iron out all the wrinkles we might have on the forehead and make it completely straight again. And don't forget to breathe deeply in and out and send your breath really deep into your stomach. And with the exhale, fully exhale. And with the next inhale, slowly look up and walk your hands back towards your knees. This was Puppy Pose, part 1. And I hope to see you when we do Puppy Pose, part 2, when we start to play a little bit in the pose.